Hello, wonderful. It is Sarah K Ramsey, and I want to talk about the pain and confusion of a toxic parent. And you may hear a waterfall in the background. I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can see that I'm not near anyone else. I'm practicing safe social distancing at this point. I just have warm weather to do it. I do want to address the issue of a toxic parent. And I want to talk about the two main types of toxic parents, okay? So sometimes you have a toxic parent who acts like the hero. They can do no wrong. They are controlling. They have all the answers. They're always right. They're always the voice, right? They always think they're the teacher, the voice, the controller of your life, okay? And those people typically think about you as an extension of themselves, okay? So controlling toxic parents think about you as an extension of themselves rather than as your own person, okay? And many of you may understand that in this group, or you may be trying to raise kids with someone like that. And I think about it in terms of an arm, right? And if your arm is acting up, you don't ask your arm permission to take it to the doctor for surgery. You do what you need to fix your arm, even if that means cutting into your arm. And controlling parents, if they see you as an extension of themselves, they don't, just like you would be super confused if your arm was like trying to do its own thing and was trying to get away from you or disobeying you or anything like that, which even if you are an adult, controlling parents can see you as disobeying them even when it's no longer appropriate to think in terms of disobeying, right? Because you're an adult now, right? So some of you may have had that type of experience. And then some of you may have victim parents, right? And very often toxic mothers end up playing the role of victim, which means they want you to do the work. Hey, Sylvia! They want you to do the work of the relationship for them, okay? Which means, oh, I need you to take care of me. I need you to do this for me. Oh, how could you ever leave me? How could you ever move away from me? How do you not know what I've sacrificed for you? Okay, it's a role of martyr. And sometimes people can switch between back and forth. Now, some of you have experienced parents who were just really selfish and just basically abandon you. And that's a different conversation than what... because those, you're probably not trying to break away from those people. You have been hurt by them and it's affected your confidence and things like that for sure. But what I'm talking about is very entrenched parents at this point. Parents who are all up in your biz, who are trying to give you insight into how you should be living your life, whether it be as an extension of themselves, like if you were an arm or a hand or an extension of them, or getting you to do the work of the relationship by playing the victim, by getting you to take care of them. And when you have a parent in either one of these situations, there's just so much guilt involved. You know, parents do make so many sacrifices for us, and toxic parents tend to remind you of those sacrifices anytime you are trying to break away, anytime you are trying to be your own person. But I want you to think about being your own person. And the one, you know, there's addictions and there's abandonment and there's cheating and there's all these other kind of things. But when I think about a truly toxic person, it isn't even about their behavior. It's that they don't think about your humanity. You being a separate person, you being a person with your own needs, your own desires, your own wants, your own brain, your own thoughts, your own processes. And they want you to be either their workhorse, their savior, extension of themselves, their puppet, but they don't see you as your own person. And then sometimes we get into other relationships and they don't see you as your own person. And so when people say, you know, how do I recover from a toxic parent, or how do I tell my parents no, or how do I break away from them? It's somewhat when people say, how do you cure cancer? And an easy answer, I know there's alternative medicines for sure, but an easy answer, you say chemo. That doesn't really help, right? Just saying the word chemo doesn't say, well, how many treatments do I need? How often do I have to go? Which doctor's best at that? You know, are you sure it shouldn't be surgery? You know, those sorts of things. And healing from a toxic parent involves you becoming your own person. And I'll never forget my sister. She would not be this way anymore. She was much younger, so I don't want you to judge her. But I remember we were somewhere, and she was much younger, and she was an adult, and she asked my dad, she said, what do we believe about that? What do we believe about that? And one of the things you have to do to become toxic person proof in any sort is create your own belief system. Not saying go against religion, anything like that, not going against the church, anything like that. It's about knowing who you are, knowing what you stand for, and doing the hard work of thinking your own thoughts. Because toxic people do not want you to think your own thoughts. They want you to think their thoughts. They want to have golden nuggets. They just get to pour jewels in your head because they see you as an extension of themselves. And many parents think of their children as products rather than parents. So you may have a mother who plays the victim. Oh, you wouldn't be able to do anything without me. But then when she's talking to her friends about you, oh, well, she's the person she is. I did everything. It was all about me. And toxic parents definitely tend to make everything all about them, which has caused huge problems on your self-esteem and confidence as you try to grow past that. So I understand that you have not had as much practice forming your own thoughts, beliefs, and opinions as people who had more healthy parents. But I do want you to think about it in terms of not having had as much practice rather than thinking I'm not good at it. Because I'm a classical pianist. I could read a Beethoven sonata, right? But if you ask me to play the cello, I'm not good at the cello, right? I can't play the cello. I would have to practice playing the cello to be good at it. It doesn't mean I'm not a good musician. I've just not had practice playing the cello. And if you've had toxic parents, you've not had much practice becoming your own person because they expected you to become the person they either wanted you to be or needed you to be so they could avoid doing their own work of growing up and becoming independent. Okay? So I hope that helps if you are one of these people who've had a toxic parent situation. And it's work, right? It's the real work of growing up. We can get older, but there's a huge difference in getting older and growing up, and doing the work of becoming ourselves and thinking for ourselves and playing around with different thoughts and different personalities and saying, oh my gosh, maybe this could be true, maybe this could be true, maybe this could be true, in who you are and becoming who you are, the truth of who you are, because you're not your parents' product. Right? You're not just their arm. You're not an extension of themselves. You're not put on this earth just to make their lives easier. You're put on this earth for a purpose. And part of growing up, and I don't want to say breaking away from toxic parents, because hopefully many of you can still establish some type of relationship and establish boundaries and that sort of thing, and stay connected with them. I don't want to break apart families in any way. If you can stay connected, let's do so. But if you have to do the hard work of becoming your own person and telling your parents that is who you are. And if any of you are watching this and you're raising kids with someone who is maybe a toxic partner, and you've got kids in that situation, really allowing them to become independent individuals and help them explore who they are and what their purpose is on this earth. Because your purpose on this earth is not one person. It's not your dad, it's not your mom, it's not your husband, it's not your daughter, it's not your son. There's something that you are here to do to serve the world, and you can also serve your family, but you are not a slave to your family. And if you're spending all your energy being a slave to your family, then you're missing out on your purpose, okay? And then you're missing out on becoming the person that you are supposed to be and that you can be, and I promise you it's a whole lot dang happier. So I hope that helps, and hope you're having a great day. Bye.